Now, you were not able to hear what we just heard from Mr. Gallagher, but basically he was echoing the sentiment here that he believes that the US is behind, given many of the flashpoints in terms of security. Living in Taiwan, you are clearly in the coalface of one of those key flashpoints. Do you agree with that sentiment?
I certainly agree with that sentiment because China has for some time increasing its coercive and provocative military behavior across Taiwan. That sends a message that created escalations in the Taiwan Strait and neighborhood area. So U.S. is extremely concerned about this kind of performances. They consider China as provoking and a very negative behavior in the region. So United States responded with consolidating its allies and partners in the region, tried to deter China this kind of behavior.
Can I just pick up on that point? Because I think the question around US commitment is one of the issues that's hanging over this dialogue. We know that the tariff policy has slapped, these pretty high so-called reciprocal tariffs to a number of jurisdictions and countries here, including Taiwan. Do you think that that erodes that confidence that perhaps the island has on its security ally in the United States?
I don't think so. I think that President Trump's government has shown its resolve to support democracy and like-minded people in the region. And at the same time, U.S. also step up its defense operations to show its resolve to defend the security environment in the region. And it also send a message to China, say, don't misstep this kind of behavior, because that will create uncontrollable, accidents in order to preserve peace and stability. Preserving peace and stability is both U.S. and China's wishes. However, United States and China is in the course of strategic competition and confrontation. So China's absence in terms of sending senior officials to participate in this dialogue shows the Chinese attitude and send a message that they are displeased with this kind of, deterring Chinese performances.
Minister, we've heard from senior Taiwanese officials this year saying that Taiwan doesn't expect the US to fight its war, but it does count on advanced US weapons as well as training. We've seen some recent geopolitical shifts, particularly in terms of Ukraine. How confident is Taipei today about that long-term reliability in terms of American arms delivery?
Well, our defense minister already get an interview from U.S. media. He considered United States should speed up the process of delivering advanced weapon systems to Taiwan in order to consolidate and improving Taiwan's self-defense capability. I think that message is quite clear. At the same time, the defense minister also considered United States still check on China. That is the message very positively sent to Taiwan.
We have seen some acceleration in shipments, but still there is a backlog because the US, frankly, has this handful, particularly in terms of what's happening in Ukraine. How vulnerable, in your view, is Taiwan to these sorts of delays?
We have conducted regular messages or dialogue with Pentagon, State Department, and even National Security Council. Send a message in order to convince the United States Taiwan is in need of quick delivery of the weapon system, already been delayed, so that meeting the expectation of the United States to speed up and upgrade our defense system.
I wanted to ask you about Taiwan's dominance in advanced chips, because that has been called by some as a silicon shield. But when we look at the key player here, which is TSMC, they are expanding overseas in Japan, in the United States. Do you think that that erodes away in some way the strategic leverage that Taiwan might have?
We are confident that the key assets of the TSMC or other chip makers will remain in Taiwan. And that will be the advantage for Taiwanese still play a very important role in the global market. So I think TSMC has a confidence, even though they have spreading their investments around the world. But the key assets still may remain in Taiwan.
I want to talk about Taiwanese defense spending, because that has been rising now at around 2.5% of GDP, but at the same time some items have been cut or frozen. Should there be any kind of escalation, is Taiwan defense ready, operationally ready in your view?
We are maintaining intensive training and also familiarizing those advanced systems delivered to Taiwan. So gradually we are improving our capability right now. At the same time, our president also mentioned he is determined to raise the defense budget to 3% at least at the end of this year, with a special budget will be allocated to show our resolve and resilience in order to improving our self-defense capability.
I want to talk more broadly about the Indo-Pacific security architecture, because the US has spoken at length about that integrated deterrence. But, you know, do you think that Taiwan needs to have a more formal role in a lot of these security alliances or partnerships that we talk about?
To improve our partnership with the Indo-Pacific strategy, we need to improve our defense infrastructure. Because now it's an AI age. Now you have to improving your communication, reconnaissance, and also linkage with allies in the region. That's the reason why we want to acquire more advanced generational weapon systems, so that we can conduct more intensive and integrative communication with allies and friends in the region.